Now, when I was a child, I either got this for £1 because they would do this thing where you could get a book for £1, or it was for free, and I can't remember which one. I think maybe I did get it for £1. I think like school would give you a voucher, and then you would go into WH Smith's or anywhere else that was doing the World Book Days, exchange the voucher for a £1 book. Actually, I think you could either exchange it for a book with a value of £1, or you get £1 off a book. I think I would usually get the free book. And this one, the Children's Book of Books, is one I really remember enjoying. And I'll tell you why, because it was a bit different. Basically, it is full of famous people of the time anyway, which is so I can read about my glasses, 1998. Yes, it's 1998. Famous people of the time giving their verdict on books. So, more specifically, picking their favourite books. So I just want to go through a few of these out of interest. So it's basically popped into sections. For example, ages 0 to 5, books aimed at that kind of age, and then celebrities are picking their favourite books in that category. Now, some of these names you might not be that familiar with. Some of these people in here are pretty much still present in the media, if you like, to this day. So, like this first person, chosen by Ainsley Harriott, of course, a TV cook and presenter. He picked 5 Minutes Peace by Jill Murphy, a classic kids book. And what it then does is it has a little extract from the book, and also a quote from why they picked the book. So, for example, Ainsley Harriott said, "Okay, they're elephants, but they're a real family. They shop around, things go wrong, things are out of place, but the family see it through. Great illustrations too." So yeah, got Ainsley Harriott. Let's see who else we've got. We've got Anne Fine, another author, picking a book. Emma Forbes, TV presenter, picking The Very Hungry Caterpillar. I'm not going to read them all out, but I just thought it'd be interesting to pick a few. In between, there's these sort of top books features talking about good books I recommend. Let's see who else we've got. Chosen by Sally Whitaker, Sally Webster in Coronation Street. She picked a book. Phil Collins picked Hector's New Trainers by Amanda Vesey. I'm not familiar with that book. Who else have we got? Skip for a few. Oh yeah, I've bookmarked this page. So this is top books. Books by each of these authors were borrowed from libraries by more than 1 million children during 1995 to 96, and they include Janet and Alan Alberg. I remember reading those books. Inner Blight, definitely remember those. World, I remember those. Ashtrek series, I think I read some of them. Dick King-Smith, I definitely read. Really love Dick King-Smith books. Anne and Martin, the Babysitters Club series. They weren't really my thing, but I remember like maybe getting one out of car boot, so I'm reading it. And I can see their appeal, along with Kate Williams, who did the Sweet Valley High series. But then this one is what I was reading at that time, and plenty of time after, R.L. Stein Goosebumps series. And then else we've got Noel Edmonds, Choosing the Wind in the Willows. I think we've gone into a different category, by the way, now of books. We are now on the 5 to 8 bracket. Let's skip a few. Days of Adventure. So this is the ages 8 to 12 category. So Jerry Halliwell of the Spice Girls, Liam Gallagher of Oasis, and Peter Mandelson, Labour MP, I believe. From the line, picked the line. Can't speak. Picked the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. The classic and excellent C.S. Lewis book. Definitely read that many times. I feel like reading why Jerry Halliwell liked the book. She said, "It's pure magic with such heart. I cried when Aslan dies." Spoiler, Jerry Halliwell. "I always used to dream of going to Narnia." Fair enough. Liam Gallagher said, "The best book I've ever read was The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe when I was 10. I want to read that again now. I love the idea of opening the cupboard door. You step inside, there's a lion and you're being chased. through the snow, Liam Gallagher. I think he gets just as much trouble from his brother, to be honest, but yeah. And Peter Mandelson said, "This is my favourite children's book. I was totally engrossed on both occasions I read it." So yeah, very good. I bookmarked this page because it's about horrible histories, another book that I loved in my childhood. And then I've also bookmarked this bit because it's about one of my favourites, of course, Goosebumps. So Goosebumps has been the best-selling children's fiction series over the last 5 years in the UK. Written by American author R.L. Stine, the series was first published in the UK in 1993 with 2 titles, Say Cheese and Die and Welcome to Dead House. I believe Welcome to Dead House was first and Say Cheese Die came after, but I might be wrong. There are now over 70 titles, a lot more than that, because of course the series still goes strong to this day. There are now over 70 titles and sales in the UK are fast approaching 7 million copies. Basically, before J.K. Rowling stepped in, R.L. Stine was the best-selling children's author. I think now possibly David Williams may be number 1, I believe. I know he certainly was at one point, I think, possibly now. And then it's got a extract from Say Cheese and Die by R.L. Stine. And it's got W.H. Smith's top-selling titles, April, September 1997, were all from the series Goosebumps. So literally all of them were from Goosebumps. It was Night of the Living Dummy, How I Got My Shrunken Head, The Headless Ghost, Welcome to Dead House, Egg Monsters from Mars. All of them are excellent, but Welcome to Dead House I especially like. That is an excellent book there. Let's look at a couple more. Patrick Moore, the TV presenter, and of course presented the Sky at Night for many years, picked a book called Tanglewood Tales by Nathaniel Hawthorne. I think I've heard of that book and I may have even read it, but I'm not sure. What else have we got? Growing Up, Breaking Out is the next category, age 12 and over. This is chosen by the author Dick King-Smith, who you may know wrote books such as Charlotte's Web and Babe. Loved that Babe film that they did, but probably like reading the books even more, I think. He picked From Tarka the Otter by Henry Williamson. I'm not sure if I read that. Does sound familiar though. Anything else? David Blunkett, another Labour MP. I think this is Labour were in at the time, weren't they, during 1998, so that is why there's plenty of Labour MPs here. Pick White Fang, love that book, by Jack London. Oh, and speaking of Labour, chosen by the Right Honourable Tony Blair, MP and Prime Minister, The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. Yeah, I mean, that is a classic, to be fair. Why did Tony Blair like this book? He said, "This is a book of great imagination and surprise which I enjoyed reading as a child. It has given me equal pleasure to read with my own children." There we go. So yeah, just a nice bit of nostalgia. I really enjoyed this book as a child, and it was nice looking through it again to see what celebrities people picked. What books the celebrities picked.